absolutely makes me, or ushers me rather, is the word she used, into Christmas. The song I'm talking about is Elevation Worship. It's titled Joy. Before that, you also heard the sounds of Anthony Evans with House of the Lord. A very good afternoon to you if you've just tuned in. Happy Monday. There's no such thing as Blue Mondays. We always say this on the CCFM Drive. And of course, thank you so much for sending all your messages and your favorite verses that you're taking into the rest of the week. In fact, I quickly want to acknowledge you. We see you, Mr. Luther. We see you, Vanessa, as well. We see you, Mr. Lawrence November, Takadzani, a 5-year-old who's also just sharing her favorite verse. So excited to get into that. But for now, though, Rome's, what time is it, sir?
It's 16:17, or better known as time for Andre, the big positive guy, as well as Tina Be Alive. We have them with us in studio. And before we get into our topic, which was going to really uplift our spirits as we draw closer and closer towards wrapping up this year, I want to give a hearty welcome to Tina Be Alive as well as Andre, the big positive guy. Tina.
Hi, guys. Joy to the world on this fabulous Monday.
Hey. What a way. Did you enjoy that beat, how it came in, and just that rendition of Elevation music as they did that with Joy?
Absolutely. I was just jamming to it. It was brilliant.
I love the twist. How was your weekend and how are you feeling?
It was busy. So I took the day yesterday just to have a calm one and make it a day of rest properly. With the germs and things, I have to be very careful. So just dosed myself up, gave myself some rest, and I'm ready to start and rock and roll again today.
Did you cut your hair shorter? Something looks different.
I did. It needed a trim.
It looks so beautiful.
Thank you.
Stunning.
You're very observant with the hair thing. Huh?
I am.
Oh, my goodness.
I love her hair like that. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Speaking of beautiful, gorgeous Audrey, the big positive guy.
Good segue. Good segue.
How are you, sir?
I just love that song as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard, but I was singing along to it and I thought, I hope the mic's not on.
It was. Oh, now you know. Yeah. The remix was with Andre.
I think I've just worked out, because my talk today is about resilience. It's the end of the year. We're feeling a little bit tired. I don't know about you, but everyone I was speaking to, oh, please just let it finish. People with their kids at school and exams, and everyone's like, can't December come now? And then you hear that beautiful Joy to the World, and it's like, so I think I'm going to go home and just make a Christmas. You remember the old days we used to do a mixtape?
Yes.
What do we do nowadays? A mix stream.
I think they call it like a remix. I don't know.
We got to do a Spotify playlist or something.
A Spotify playlist. That's the word I was looking for. Not a mixtape.
I'll help you always.
Guys, so excited to have you. And again, how fitting for us to talk about this today, considering I know a lot of parents, just touching on exams, are going, I need my child just to be calm and have peace, because it's such a hectic week for exams as well.
I think whether you have children or not, I think one of the things we have to be quite sensitive to those people around us and realize that so many people are terribly stressed and terribly tired and trying, kids are studying till midnight and hopefully studying till midnight and past. Parents are awake. You're trying to teach your kids are stressed. And what happens, it's very good for us to be sensitive to the needs of others. I do a lot of networking breakfasts, and a friend of mine actually wrote and he said, don't pressurize people to come to your breakfast. Understand the pressure that people are under. Sure. What happens is the November, if you're an entrepreneur, you're desperately trying to make some money before everyone goes on a holiday. If you're a corporate, you're desperately trying to finish everything that needs to be done so you can go away for 3 or 4 weeks holiday. And it's a stressful time. And also Christmas is not always the happiest time for everybody. So there's a whole lot of things just combining. And he said, be nice to people, just be kind. So I thought today I'd just speak a little bit about resilience and just see what can we do. And we've spoken it about before. Yeah. I'm sitting here with the queen of resilience next to me. So hopefully she's going to interject and just say, what can we do to make the next 6 weeks better? Absolutely.
And I think also the hardest thing about resilience is when it's not so bright and shiny, and it's not looking like you can be resilient. So I think let's dive straight into that, just how to stay resilient even if the circumstances don't look too beautiful or too, there's light. It just seems dark. How do we build up our resilience in that way?
Well, obviously the first thing always is gratitude. And one of the things that I wanted to express my gratitude. And when you said that Jordan Lewis is coming in tonight, I thought it obviously isn't a mistake. Because the first thing I wanted to say is thank you to this city. When I first moved here in 1990, somewhere around there, I don't know if you guys remember the penguin rescue. No, you weren't even born. The penguin rescue, there was a big oil spill here, and thousands of penguins, nearly the entire population of penguins was covered in oil. And I've never seen anything like it before. We went out there and caught penguins by the tens of thousands, took them to Salt River, put them in swimming pools, which everyone donated, and thousands of people came there and fed, washed, and kept these penguins until all the oil was gone and cleaned, and we let them go. I was thinking about day zero. It feels like a million years ago, and it is nearly a million years ago. You probably still weren't born. But there was a time where we nearly ran out of water. And I was amazed to see South Africans just pulling together. And the last is I have been very fortunate to listen to Jordan Hill-Lewis and several times. I've also been privileged to listen to James Foss and to hear some of the things that are happening in the city. And no, we're never going to please everybody. But boy, you can pick another city if you want to. This city, something is happening. And I just wanted to say I'm grateful today for living in such a wonderful city. Tina, you're new here. What does that feel like for you?
I think I just, my mum came down and we had long discussions about me possibly going back to Durban. And I have to say to you, I don't miss it. I really believe that Cape Town is the next step in my journey. I don't want to go back to KZN. I love my mum dearly. I really do. And I miss my friends there, but I feel like the sun is shining on Cape Town at the moment. I really do.
Sure. Embracing and being grateful for this beauty that we have in Cape Town. I love that. I love that.
Absolutely.
Now, of course, as always, please do join in on the conversation. And again, I think we can all relate to this conversation in particular. I think we're all fatigued in one way or another as we slowly, or rather fast and quickly wrap up the year that has been. We are live on Facebook as well as YouTube. Simply look for CCFM 107.5 and you'll get to see the gorgeous Andre and the beautiful Tina be alive on those platforms.
Before we dive into the next question, which I'd love to find out in terms of getting, some tips, practical tips that we can use to build our resilience, so that, we can be able to achieve what we want to achieve. I just want to touch on a comment. This one's for you, Tina. It says, "Hi, my beautiful Natasha and Romeo. I love Tina's laugh."
Thank you.
Thanks, Orlando.
We could wrap that up in voice artist.
Salad in a bottle.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, family. 0617981075. You too can also have your comment. Practical, easy tips to build our resilience.
I think for me, the easiest thing for me is to go and have a cup of tea. So they're called it's micro self-care. It's tiny little spaces in time during the day where you can actually just get out of the zone that you're in and just go and have a cup of tea or coffee or a glass of water or whatever it is and just get out of that space and refresh your mind and your brain. I think that is, I do that all day long. And I would never get through the amount of work and stuff that I get through if I wasn't doing that. Because you can also get so caught up in that you feel like you're stuck in an ice lake under that ice. And you need to break through. And a change of environment and a change of pace. Well, I tell you what, change is as good as a holiday.
Absolutely. Just touching on that this morning, I think I shared with you, and I was like, I was working, but I said to myself, I need to step away. It's all becoming too much. So it's so true what you're saying. When you are just, in this momentum, you need to step away and just breathe for a few seconds, whether it's a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, but important just to take that moment, breathe, and then start again.
And so absolutely correct what you said there, Natasha. Breathing is there's a box breathing technique where you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, and you carry on doing it until eventually you'll feel lighter and you'll have oxygen in your lungs, and it just refreshes everything in your body because you've got that oxygen now flowing through and hitting your brain, and you just feel lighter.
Also as well, just touching on what you were saying, so we can easily find ourselves in a slump or in a slowness, or just find yourself not wanting to get into our systems, not wanting to work, not wanting to do whatever, especially now as we've reached this season and time, where things are almost there. We're almost there, but we're not there yet. We still have to cross the line. And so things like you've just mentioned now, just taking a break and just going outside, just breathing in and just working on that just to rejuvenate us and to help us in the right spirit to finish the job that was created for us.
Yeah, I actually want to invite the listeners. Perhaps you've got a resilience sort of
Yes.
practical thing that you do. We'd like to hear from you. 061 798 1075. Do you take a break, or maybe 2 hours of a break, and then you resume? We'd like to know what works for you. You've tried it out. Of course, join the conversation. 061 798 1075.
I love as well what you mentioned, Andre, in the beginning when you were just, making that comparison of the city of Cape Town, how resilient the city is. And I was also thinking about a nation as well as South Africa. We are such a resilient people.
Absolutely.
That no matter how the odds are stacked up against us, we somehow always are able to fight back.
Even when they pick on Oxen, don't put him on one of the best rugby players in the world. We know that he's the best rugby player.
Inside.
But it's again, I just spoke about Jordan Hill-Lewis, but as we got here today, something I've never seen you guys do. You would just took a 5-minute break outside. There's a beautiful balcony right outside the studio, and it's magnificent here. You look out over the ocean, you look out over the little colored huts, the changing rooms here at Muizenberg. It's glorious. And just for a second or two, that fresh air, or should I say gale force wind, just wakes you up a little bit. It just wakes you a little bit. One of the other things which I find, and I think it's probably my favorite thing, is focusing on connections. One of the things that I did this year, probably not well, in my desire to do as much as I could, I probably left a few people behind, probably hurt a few people. I mean, I think these things happen. And this last weekend, it was quite interesting to see a couple of people come back.
Wow.
And I just thought to myself, that's interesting. We were chatting about it in the car on the way here and saying, is that to allow space for those connections, those people that need us, the people that feed us, the people that encourage us, and just to make sure that you surround yourself with really, really good people. But I'm fascinated to hear what the listeners say.
Absolutely.
Is it just me that's tired, or the rest of you full of beans and you're just going for it like a bang, or is it just me?
And we'd like to know if you are maybe just full of energy and you're like, no, guys, I don't know what fatigue you guys are talking about.
We need those ones around us.
Absolutely. 061 798 1075. Another thing that I think has a really powerful impact is, when we hear other people's stories, if you share with me, for instance, something that I can grab and that will somehow motivate me and feed off my energy. Let's talk about that, the power of storytelling.
Yeah, I think I might even have done it sometime this year, but I would have done it in the middle of winter. Is all my life I've flown a lot. And one of the things, and I loved it initially, but after thousands of hours in the air, I started becoming more nervous. And people say that's quite normal. It's like if you drive too much, the odds are that if anything's going to happen, it's going to happen now, because now you're spending thousands of hours in the air. And I did one of those horrible midwinter mornings, dark, and the plane took off and it shuddered, and I didn't think it was going to get off the ground first of all, and then it did, and then it didn't go up any higher. And I sort of grabbed the arm when there was somebody's hand I didn't even notice. I just gripped it really tight and I sat back and I thought, Jesus won't take me now. I'm still got too many things to do. And I went up and the plane was shuddering. You couldn't even hear yourself speak. It was just really, we're flying into one of those massive gale force winds. And then suddenly it just went deathly quiet. And I looked out the window and there was a beautiful sunshiny day, because we smashed through the storm cloud. And the analogy for me was so huge that no matter how stormy it is in your life, no matter how tough things are getting here, the reality is every day is a big sunshiny day and just above you. And I think one of the best things you can look up. If you look up, if you just could break through those clouds and you look up, you'll see there's a beautiful sunshiny day, and it's like that forever. And I always love that story. Whenever I think, it's cold and it's miserable and windy and stuff like that, there's a beautiful sunshiny day just 5,000 or 10,000 feet above me.
I love that.
I think the key words there are look up and reach out.
Yeah.
Because Andre's first said he reached out to the person next to him. And Andre's so good at doing that. He makes concerted effort every day to phone a friend and catch up. And I've learned so much from that, to the point where I had the most incredible conversation with a friend of mine this morning. And I really do. I feel like I've broken through the ice today, because she was just like, there's nothing like a good friend that's known you since school to give you some home truths and be like, actually, Tina. And I'm just feeling so much more like free and alive, and so much more energy and oxygen in my brain, and just from that connection with a friend of mine.
I love that.
And what we're going to do now is look forward to 5 months where the sun goes down at 8, 9 o'clock at night. The weather just gets better and better. And it's just the most wonderful place to be alive in. And also, it's a wonderful opportunity. We're so close to next year, so I'm already starting to plan for next year. It's too late to plan in January, guys.
Yes.
Gotta start now.
I'm already starting now because what we do now determines the year that we're going to have next year. Next year is going to be another big one. 2025 just sounds cool.
Absolutely. We've got a couple of voice notes, in fact, one and then a few text messages. But throwing it out to you again, it's fitting. It's a Monday. Also, very slowly wrapping up the year that's been. Do you find yourself fatigued? Do you find yourself stagnant? And if so, how are you? What is your pick-me-up? How does resilience look like for you? What do you do to just catch your breath? And maybe that's exactly what you do, catch your breath. We'd like to know or hear from you this afternoon. A voice note from Cynthia.
Good afternoon, CCFM. Sure, resilience. Oh my word, I think we need a double dose in this time of the year. Anyways, I think a practical for me, and today was one of those days where I felt like, it will take a truck to push me to do anything. I really felt exhausted and didn't want to be at work, to be honest. But then you obviously have to face reality. And in the course of the day, I was just sharing with my husband. I told him, you know what, this is how I feel. I'm just gonna put my music on and I'll be working in silence. Whoever speaks to me, I will answer. But I'm just gonna be absorbed with Christian music playing. And funny enough, this is actually the sort of a culture that we have at home. In the morning, every single day, the first person to wake up and be on their feet actually plays music, because we know we have our little ones. One of them is not so much of a morning person. So you've got to kind of create the atmosphere, and we do just that, play Christian music, and we sing along. All right,
Power of music.
Absolutely.
So powerful. You know something, I mean, it sounds like nothing, but one of the things that I've looked back on my life, and I've always wondered, why did I become the big positive guy? Why have I always been optimistic? One of the things my mother used to do is, when I was young, teenagers don't wake up well. My mother never woke me up. She used to play music. She used to play soft, beautiful music, nothing too hectic, just soft, beautiful music. And I used to wake up in this sort of cloud, like, typical teenager still fast asleep. But always it was a beautiful day. Every day I woke up. And so, music is very powerful. Last week, I remember I had a really lousy week. I had a couple of bad days. And my wife went out and I heard it fiddling with a knob, and she found some of my favorite songs and she blasted them across the house. And it works, eh? Music is an incredibly powerful tool.
We've got Delisha agreeing as well in terms of just the power of music.
Yep. Saying two things. One, saying, hi guys, a power nap works for me, and a nice cup of tea.
And a nice cup of tea.
I love a cup of tea.
And she's also adding, in terms of the music, oh yes, and the lack of music playing on CCFM. Much love as well. Rosalind as well coming through saying, Tina, you are such an inspiration. Your story helps me to be more resilient.
Sure.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
I also just want to say there's a few more coming through. So please just put our hands up to say that it is with regards to the conversation, so we don't just play a random voice note. So if it is in connection with resilience, then give us a shout out. So Bruce, I see you send something. Just confirm with the thumbs up that we can, of course, play it. Leisha adding, saying, I love sitting at the beach, just watching the waves. When I get a lift, I always feel so much more rejuvenated.
0617981075. Loving the messages coming through. There's another one from Bruce.
Good afternoon. Just my 10 cents, but this works for me. When you're tired and you come home, you go to work, you go to school, you come home, study, eat, sleep, whatever you're doing, try not to get into a particular routine. Try and change your routine as much as you can. Then that way your body doesn't get too used to the normal thing, and it's almost like your body knows, right, you're going to do this now, so I must get into that mode or whatever. Just try and change different scenery, different atmosphere, whatever the case is, and you will feel a difference. If you don't feel a difference, then your mindset is, yeah, I don't know, but that just works for me. Okay, thank you.
Then you're the
Thank-
problem.
Thank you so much, Bruce. It reminds me
Thanks,
of
Bruce.
when sometimes you're driving, and if you're driving at a certain speed for a long time, your mind can become relaxed,
Mm.
and you can almost like sleep if you're not
Doze
alert.
off, you're
Yeah,
like-
It's like
doze off.
it's
Yeah.
like hypnosis. But Bruce, you're a very clever man, bud. I've discovered that one of the best ways to sabotage your relationship is get in a routine. We need something different. And so you always hear people challenging, when last did you do something for the first time? You know,
Mm.
just I drive home on different routes. It frustrates my wife. But I just want to see different things and
Yeah.
I want to have different scenery, whatever it is, how small it is. Just do something different. And Tina stayed with us for 3 months this year. And it was such a pleasure because we had so much work to do and we were renovating the house. And so she was helping us with it. But what we did is every second Sunday, was it every second Sunday?
Yeah.
We made a plan to go do something we hadn't done for a while.
Love that.
Or we'd never done. So we'd get
Well,
in
it
the
was
car
Tina's
and go drive.
first for everything, but
Everything, yeah. But we just drove around and we looked at things, and some of them cost nothing, some of them were cheap, some of them were just views. But it was an amazing thing to do. And since she's gone, we haven't done it again. And now I'm missing it dreadfully. But I
you
think
must go back.
summer's back.
Yeah,
Summer's
come.
back. Summer's back.
I'm gonna rent my house out and go and live with Andre and his wife.
I love it. Jojo coming through saying, "Hey guys, I love the show. Today feels a bit special. My passion for my work provides the boost and resilience to get up
Mhm.
and go. A bit of a walking also gives me a kick." That's of course Joe sharing some of his, I suppose, techniques and how to really get back that energy and rejuvenate his energy. We'd also like to hear from you. 061798. How do you get back that resilience? How do you what is your kick, your pick me up? We'd like to hear 0617981075.
Family, I'd love to go back to you and find out any last parting words on your end.
I think the key is just, change is as good as a holiday, and be grateful. Always find something to be grateful for, because if you're not grateful, life can just get really, really, really dour and really sad. So I think we just need to train our brains to look for the positive and be grateful. And change is as good as a holiday.
Andre, your side?
Yeah, I think, as I get older, the values that I sort of identified in my youth and said, I love these things, are becoming more important to me as I got older, which is, thank heavens, they've stayed the same and they haven't changed. But the number one is kindness. And I thought to myself, just to be a little bit more kind. And occasionally I can become brusque because I'm busy. And I thought to myself, I want to be, and Glennis and I have had long discussions about how can we be kinder to other people, and especially people who don't know us and people who don't notice anything else. So I want to encourage you to go out there and be kind to people. The person that hasn't got any money is maybe begging from annoying you terribly. Just be polite to them, make somebody a sandwich that you've never met and go give them a sandwich. I think all these little ripples make a huge difference. We just came here today. We went outside, stood on this lovely veranda, saw the ocean, had the wind beat us around a bit, listened to Joy to the World, and immediately I'm in a happier place. 3 small little acts.
Yeah.
And I think if we can do those things, I think not only will your life become better, but I think the world will be a better place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, like we mentioned, this conversation is live on Facebook and YouTube. So feel free to repost, to reshare, share it with a friend. That is, of course, Andre the Big Positive Guy and Tina Be Alive. Guys, thank you for coming all the way from the other side of the world.
Other side of the world.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, you took some effort and you came, and we are so appreciative of that. And these conversations, again, always fitting to have these conversations, especially as we start this brand new week. On the way, we have one more Christmas song. I'm sure we can. It's never too early. We Three Kings is on the way with it's by 116 as well as Paul Russell, and then a quick traffic update with Romeo.